Hi again, my name is Rebel and I'm the Rebel Reseller, and today I'm going to be doing my what sold video for last week, Monday through Thursday, which was August 11th through the 14th. Hear that sigh?
But it got better.
It got better, but that Monday, $44 in sales for the entire day. eBay was broken, dead, deceased. That's the worst ever since the beginning of my time on eBay. But then I had 8 days in a row, 8 that were
Where you need
normal. Yes, normal, not grand, but normal. And I'll take normal these days. And now we're doing downward trend again. So I just don't get it. Usually in years past, August, I start seeing a buildup. September, I can really tell that people are starting to shop. But I am not seeing above average days, much less average, but for a short period. So it is what it is. All right, so let me go. I had nothing on Etsy for those 4 days, and I have one thing to share, which was thinking might be my best sale was a clothing item in the other store, but only one sale there. And then, like I said, a lot of bread and butter with a few exceptions. First thing I'm going to share is a coffee mug. I haven't been selling them in a while, which is kind of odd. I did actually, get rid of a few to the guy that comes and picks up the stuff I no longer want. And then I sell a coffee mug. It is a water wheel meal brown coffee mug, $8.96. Then this Russ Shining Stars Tiger Plush. I like picking them up, but for the most part, they are bread and butter. This one sold for $8. McDonald's toys. I enjoy picking them up. I like listing sets, but every once in a while I come across a unique one. I'm going to list it as a single. And this was from 1998, a little dragon, sold for $7.15. And I do charge shipping. Sunbeam Mixmaster replacement bowl thing. Sold for $19. We've got a few things still on our shelves that I need to sell as replacement parts, but for the most part, we haven't been picking these up hardly anymore. Yorkshire Terrier Dog Plush. I don't think I had a brand on this one. That always makes it a little bit hard. Larger plush, 14 inches tall. With sales the way that they've been, I got a $30 offer on it, and I decided to go ahead and accept it. $30 for, a plush. Can't pass that up. You know what? I want to say we picked this up at the Highway 127 sale, and it took me a while to get it listed, but I think this is the one that we picked up while we were out there a couple of years ago. These are Sears bricks blocks. They look like Legos. It was their version of Legos. Very vintage. Sold for $17.95. Tie Pillow Pals. Of all of the tie plush, I like picking up Pillow Pals, Fluffies, and I'm getting back into some of the classics, but the beanies, not so much. This Moose plush sold for $9. Behringer Lots to Love baby doll sold for $13.45. Little Medical School doll plush. It came in a kit of stuff. I just had the doll. Sold for $8.96. Aurora Baby Fawn plush from 2018 sold for $10. I like Aurora. Douglas dog lot. I decided to put 3 of them together and they sold for $20. These are the smaller ones. Scooby-Doo. This was one of those instances. I had Fred and Velma listed, and then I found these other 4 figures at the bins, decided to, redo the listing, add them to it, and they sold in a little over a month for $30. That's not Velma, that's Daphne. I just caught that myself. Disney Brother Bear. Now, there was a time I did well with these, and then for a really long time, they hardly sold. But I had noticed in doing comps or something that they were starting to pick up again. And so I found one at the bins and listed this, and it took just, again, a little over a month, and it sold for $22.45. I don't know if there's another movie coming out or there's just a resurgence of interest. But Brother Bear is selling decently again. Janlin Counted Cross Stitch Kit. This was for a pillow. Can't remember where I picked it up, but it ended up selling for $17.95. Ralph Lauren Premier Women's, I just bit my cheek. Women's jeans sold for $10.46. Wild Republic Husky Wolf Dog Wrist Hugger. I probably will not pick up any more of them. They just do not sell very quickly. This one sold for $10.36. Songs of Doc Watson Songbook. This was a Robert pickup. I think he picked up a couple of these at an estate sale. Sold for $13.45. This, sadly, I could have probably got $80 for it, except it had a big old gash indent in its neck. So I just kind of priced it at the lower end of comps, and it sold immediately, which maybe makes me think maybe I could have got a little more for it. But I know there were sold comps for nice condition ones for $80. But y'all, I picked this up at the bins, maybe $2 in it. No, it didn't even weigh a pound. So, $1.50 or so in it. And it sold same day I listed it, $29.95. But you can see up here on the neck, it's like indented. Still not bad. All right, this was from that Barbie lot of stuff that I picked up at a consignment sale last year. Paid like $7 or $8 for a huge bag of vintage Barbie stuff. Ended up being like tons of pieces and parts to a patio pool house set. It's been slow though, but then I sell a whole lot of just the chairs and stuff for $59. So, I still think it's worth it. You just got to wait for the right buyers for these pieces and parts to these vintage play sets. I'm taking offers on my old stuff. So this was a very sweet Eden plush from 1980, larger sheep, and probably Robert sent an offer out on this because it sold for probably about half my sale price of $15.72, but it's gone.
You've had that thing listed on eBay longer than eBay's been in existence.
Looking at that background, yeah, I think maybe when we first moved to this house, so maybe 10, 12 years this thing has been listed, because I don't ever use that cube anymore. It's a different one. Little Me Rabbit Lovey sold for $21. Very, very quickly, like in a day or two. Not all Loveys are bread and butter, and some Loveys sell very quickly. Halloween jack-o'-lantern little blow mold light covers sold for $22.45. Heading into Halloween. All right, Fisher-Price Music Box Teaching Clock from 1986. I have one up here on my wall somewhere. Yep, up there at the top. This one sold for $13.45. Russ Yomiko Labrador Dog Plush sold for $15.25. Funny thing is, the last few things that I've shown you, they've been listed in the time range where I would be sending out 30, 40, 50% offers, but they're selling for my sale price. So that's kind of nice. Applause Snoopy and Woodstock Snoring Plush. I don't think this was from the estates sale or the yard sale bulk buy that I did. Probably a Ben's pickup, and it ended up selling for $20 in about 7 months. Lauer Water Babies. Y'all, I do well with these. Unfortunately, this one had some marks on its face I could not get off with. Magic eraser, alcohol, nothing. So I did price it lower, and it still sold in just over a month for $15.25. Funny thing is we were, I think, at an estate sale or a yard sale yesterday. Found another one, was so happy, and then I looked and it was the same thing, and I just wasn't going to go ahead and pay, you know, a couple of bucks when I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to get those marks off. General Foam Plastic Pumpkin Bucket for Halloween sold, been listed since 2023. So again, very happy to see it moving. $11. IKEA Orange Striped Cat. I think this came in like a set. I don't remember what was with it, but I just remember there's 2 of them. This was just one, and it sold for $8.96. Clark's Women's Sandals. Been listed forever, and yet they sold at my sale price $22.45. This was a nice sale. You know, I couldn't find anything like them, so I just kind of picked a higher price for jerseys that had the Russell Athletic tag on it. I went and looked, I think, in his store. I don't see any that he's relisted it. So, you know, maybe it was a personal buy. But this was a Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets jersey, and I took a best offer of $70.
Football season starting.
Probably.
I'm a pretty sad college football fan. I haven't even looked to see when the first games are, but my gut's telling me this weekend they're probably going to be starting up. And
we don't have TV, so, you know, if he's going to watch something, it's where do you end up watching stuff?
For college football, you can go to and you just continue that until.
I don't know if you should be telling them that.
I'm just telling them where to find the game.
All right, and then NFL?
I think the NFL just comes and punches the streamers in the face, and so nobody does it. I think the NFL takes them down much more quickly. Play
School Jammy Pies. I'm thinking I picked up like the first thing, the time that we finally returned to the Asheville bins. It was just there in a bin. I picked it up. Tried cleaning it. It still had lots of discoloration, so I priced it on the lower end. Funny story about this is I listed it at the beginning of August, so it hasn't even been a month. Yeah, and I got a $40 offer on it, and it said in the comments of the offer, my daughter loves Jammy Pies. If she wants this, I'll pay you $45 for it. So what did Rebel do? Rebel sent a counter offer of $45. His daughter decided she wanted it, and he purchased it at $45. Has anybody ever had that experience before? That was weird. That was weird in a good way. Very good way. So, you know, if it had been in better condition, the face was good, which is, you know, positive about it. But you can see its hands and its clothes are just really lots of wear and discoloration. But I have mine that I haven't put out yet. It's sitting over there. I'm looking for a purple one though. If I find a purple one in the wild, I will take that one and then I'll sell the one I have. All right, Prima Creations. I used to pick that brand up more often, not as much anymore. This has been listed forever, sold for a $10 offer. Thai Bunny Rabbit plush from 1991, large plush, 18 inches. Didn't have the paper tag. When I picked it up, it had lots of, it needed to be cleaned. Let's just say that. But it cleaned up very well. Spray and wash it, throw it in the wash. And it sold in like 12 days or so. I'm trying to figure out, what did I say? Oh, like 13 days. It's for $35.95.
Back to college football and the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
The way I do it is I wait until later in the day or the next day, and I can go on YouTube and either the NCAA or the NFL will have like a 5-minute recap of all the major plays in the game.
And you're good.
And I watch it in like, sometimes they're like 10 or 15, but they compress it down so you get all the action without
all the time invested.
Yeah, you get all the good plays. So
yeah. All right, Mary Meyer. This is advertising plush. I'm looking. Yes, this was from my high bid estate sale that I won at the beginning of this channel like 4 years ago. It was advertising for C&P telephone, and it sold for $14.66. Walmart White Moose Angel plush sold for $17.46. And then, like I said, nothing sold on Etsy. Etsy has gotten very quiet for me, but I haven't been cross-listing over there. I need to, because probably September 1st or so, sometime in September, I'm going to go ahead and renew all of the listings that have not been renewing, in hope that, you know, I'll get a lot of action on Etsy for fourth quarter. Because if I start them on September, they're going to be good October, November, December, January. And then if they haven't sold by January, and there's some of my older listings, not anything that I add going like from this time forward, I will probably take them off of Etsy. I will not let them keep renewing. And we'll see how fourth quarter goes. You know, Etsy, I'm on the fence about. But I do make decent sales there when I put the effort in. So, all right. And then the one thing that sold on the other channel, the other store, was this Peter Manning green utility jacket. You know, I just happened to look this up. I think it was a Ben's pickup, 2507. Yeah, I just listed this. So I think it was from this last trip somewhere. And it sold for $72.64. So definitely a brand to keep your eyes out for. I had never heard of it, but again, I'm not very good with clothes yet. All right, y'all. Hope you guys enjoyed this. I need to get a haul video done.
did you tell them about the amazing yard sales today?
One plush. One.
We went to a bunch.
A bunch.
We went to a few in town. You bought one plush at a bonus yard sale that we didn't know we were going to, but luckily we stopped so you would have one plush bought today. And then we went to a campground yard sale, which we've had. Last year wasn't great. The year before that was really good. There was a place they're selling jeans for $25, and we bought a bunch there. And this year they were 2, 3, 5, 10, 25. I found, I think I shared this earlier in the year. There was a pair of jeans, American Eagle, destroyed jeans. They had a 3x5 index card on them. Number one, $25. We found it at another yard sale today. So apparently nobody's buying that pair of jeans, because there was a bunch more like that there, and it's just ridiculous.
Somebody went from their house to, you know, their sister's house or their mother's house and just grabbed all the same stuff that we had already seen at a previous yard sale. So, all right, let's all get to work. Bye.